I'm just south of Ludington at the Reservoir Overlook and Lake Michigan Overlook at the Ludington Pumped Storage Plant. And so this is a place where they pump water out of Lake Michigan all night when the power plants have extra energy, and then during the day they let it fall back down to the lake and use it to create hydroelectric power, to create electricity. And it says that the Reservoir Overlook is that way, so I'm going to check it out. Just to verify, yeah, it's tough to see in the fog, and it might be a little foggy for seeing it, but up at the top of the hill there, that's where I have to go. So it's a little bit of a hike up, it's a steep climb, but yeah, I wish it were less foggy, but today is the day I'm here, so we're going to do it. For those who can't make it up in one shot, they have some benches, because yeah, it is a steep climb. Well, they have that little building at the top. I don't remember that being there the last time I was here. Of course, that was probably close to 20 years ago. So, we'll check it out. Here we are in the building at the top that overlooks the reservoir. Fortunately, it's pretty foggy today, so you can't see the reservoir very much. Here's some information about it. During the day, the water is released down through the turbines, producing electricity. At night, water is pumped up into a reservoir. And so this thing, it says, is 2 miles long. It's a mile wide at its widest point. It's up here in the sand dunes above Lake Michigan. And it tells us that to build this reservoir and the electric generating plant required 2,800 construction workers moving 52.5 million cubic yards of earth, more than 1 mile of pipe that is large enough to drive a semi-truck through, and constructing a 27 billion gallon reservoir covering 842 acres. And if we come over here, it says each turbine, when generating electricity, lowers the reservoir level about 1 foot per hour. The average operations lower the reservoir about 40 feet in a day. Then the water is pumped back into the reservoir to refill. Pump turbines are 433,000 horsepower units and turn at 112.5 revolutions per minute. Lake Michigan is 579 feet above sea level. The top of the reservoir is an elevation of 950. So the deal is that Michigan gets its power through some power plants, and I believe when this was built, we were getting power mostly through a coal-fired power plant, and those power plants want to run at a constant rate. While the demand is much higher during the day and lower at night, and so they built this to act as a giant battery. So at night, when the plant has extra capacity, power generating plant, it uses that electricity to pump the water up here from the lake. During the day, when the power generating plant can't keep up with the demand, then they let the water flow back down from this reservoir through these turbines to create enough electricity to supplement what the power plant generates. It's very wet up here. There's water condensation on the rails and stuff, and I think that's just because of the heavy fog. So here we are in this little building. Oh, it's starting to clear up. Looking north. When I was just starting my climb, somebody from the park here stopped and talked to me and said, "You're not going to see much today because of all the fog." Unfortunately, that's true, but today is the day that I have. Here we are down at the overlook by Lake Michigan. So let's see, here's our reservoir, or not a reservoir, here's where it comes out into Lake Michigan. And we're going to go down here, see how far we can go to get a good view of where it comes out. So we're going to go down here and see what we can see. So this is Lake Michigan over here. Very grateful that the fog has lifted, at least down here. So I can see a whole lot better. got a little breakwater there to make sure that the waves are never more than something like 4 feet tall coming into this power plant. And okay, you can see up there the giant hill, and we were at the top of the hill before. It's still looking a little foggy at the top of the hill, so we'll have to see if the fog clears anymore. Well, what a difference a half hour makes. I noticed the fog was going away, so I came back up. Come over here, we look south. Who would have known when I came up here in the fog that all of that was there? And if we come back around here and we look west, you can look out over Lake Michigan. Here we are down at the bottom of the hill from where the reservoir is, and you can see kind of the same diagram we've been looking at about how the whole thing works. But down here they've got one of the turbines that was actually used in the power plant, and it says it's the actual runner from Unit 3, which was used in the power plant for commercial operation from 4/12/1973 through 5/13/2019, when it was removed and replaced with an upgraded design. This runner saw approximately 150,000 hours of operation through its 46 years of service. And see if we can get, we have to stand back here a little bit to see it. Gonna have to move over here. There's my car. Coming around here, we have to go across this little drive here. There, see the turbine. That thing was spinning around in that power plant, pumping water up during the night and having it run down and making electricity during the day for 46 years. Get a little bit different angle here with the sunlight. So you can get a little bit of perspective. You can see the railing there, and the sign in my car, and then there's the turbine. Let's see if we can get all that into one shot so you can get a perspective about how big this thing is. Yeah, gives you a little indication of how big those turbines are that are spinning in there at some insanely high speed. Cool stuff. So as we're down here by the turbine, we look across the street and you can see all this electrical stuff, all these giant wires carrying the electricity from that power plant. And when I'm standing here, at least when we don't have a car going past, I can hear those wires buzzing because there's just so much power going through those lines. And then they go on and on and on, and you can see them as you drive down US 31.